here we are in Castor Wilds. So, I'm a bit conflicted on this area, because on one hand the music's pretty great, but on the other hand, well, we've got all this muck here, and if we try to walk through it, oh, whoa, this isn't working out at all. Oh dear. Yeah, if you linger around there for too long, you will drown in it. And we can't actually get anywhere here, so, looks like we're not actually supposed to be here yet. Whoops. But yes, you do actually need to go to Castor Wilds before you do anything else, because almost drowning in that swamp, or drowning and then coming back, that is actually how you activate quite a few plot-important things. So, once we finish exploring this area, we're going to be going back to Hyrule Town, because if you'll remember, that sign did say you need Pegasus Boots to get through that swamp. Well, it told us not to forget them anyway, which, you know, very much implies that you'll need them. There's not too much to explore. A lot of this area is unlocked by Kinstone Fusion, and speaking of Kinstone Fusions, I got a green Kinstone. Man, I've been getting lucky with those, rather. I'm getting so lucky with them. But anyway, of course I'm not lucky here because this guy doesn't have a fusion and he's kinda useless like that. Oh well. Alright, well, I guess we gotta continue on then. Oh yeah, some moblins do have bow and arrows, but they're really weak since they're very slow, and, you know, other moblins have some way to defend themselves, but these guys, nah, you just stab them to death. And of course, we are already at 500 rupees. Isn't that just great? We're at the max. Oh boy. Man, we need another wallet already. Thankfully, you get all the other wallets fairly quickly, which is good because, again, you max out on rupees so easily, so why don't we just buy this here bomb bag? We should have enough, right? No, it's 600 rupees! I can't even hold that many rupees. And seriously, he won't haggle. Have you ever met a man who won't haggle? I suppose we'll just buy mysterious shells. But look at that, you only get 30 for 200 rupees. See, when I told you they were expensive, they are expensive. Seriously, you have to pay so much just to get 30 of them, which isn't that much later on. Can I fuse Kinstones with you, please? Yes, we actually can. Oh, thank goodness we have the correct pieces. Feels good to be able to fuse Kinstones again. Because the sooner we get these out of the way, the better. Alright, we'll probably run across that Octorok later. He is an... Oh yeah, we are definitely going to run across him. Alright, so that was a good one to get. So anyway, this is actually Beetle in this game. Fairly boring in this version, but he sells Picolite, which I never use in this game. Starting off, he has 3 types of Picolite. Actually, we're going to do some plot stuff, so I'll explain Picolite in a second. Thump. And once we turn into a Minish... there we go. The shoes just completely disappear. So yes, in order to trigger this event, you do have to go to Castor Wilds first. Otherwise, he'll just work on his shoes as normal, and because the red shoes are in the way, you can't actually climb up here. And this is what activates another thing. Because these guys are going to create the shoes while he sleeps, and they are going to be creating the Pegasus Boots, which will be very helpful. But we need them as soon as possible, and, well, technically speaking, he'll never wake up if we don't get him this item that, we need to go a fairer distance for. Yes, okay. I've learned my lesson, never speak to you guys. Alright, so we need to get a mushroom from Syrup's hut. So now that we've done this, we can actually access Lon Lon Ranch itself. But anyway, as I was saying about Picolites, there are 3 types starting off. There's the white Picolite, which, let's see, what does that do? I think it makes it easier to find Kinstones. There's red Picolite, which makes it easier to find hearts, I believe, since that's the corresponding color. And green, which makes it easier to find mysterious shells. Also, damn it, still don't have the Kinstone I need for that guy. and that guy is very important, as I said before. I want to get his fusion done as soon as possible. But anyway, yes, you might have noticed 3 other empty bottles next to Beetle. You can unlock more Picolite later. I'm pretty sure I do cover that quest later on, but it's not on my to-do list, really. Not high up on it, anyway. Because again, I don't use it, because it takes up bottle space, and it's really just for grinding purposes. By the way, if you use Picolite in the area we're just in with all the grass, yeah, that makes that grinding spot even better. So anyway, now we're at Lon Lon Ranch. This is a plot-important thing that you need to do. Oh, but we can't fuse Kinstone pieces with Talon, or Mario, as he somewhat resembles. He kind of goes back and forth. His face doesn't really look like Mario's in this game in Ocarina of Time, but in something like Link's Awakening, he does have the nose for it. But in this game in Ocarina of Time, he does have the style of dress to resemble Mario. But anyway, yes, of course, Malon and Talon, or Malon and Talon, or however you pronounce those names, they are a reference to Ocarina of Time because they're both characters that appeared in that game. But in this game, we do have to get into their house because, of course, Talon got the key. In Ocarina of Time, he was a sleepy guy who fell asleep in the middle of delivery of all things, and generally he was just a lazy guy. In this game, he's not as lazy, but he is very forgetful, because he out and out forgot the key in his own house. Oh man, you know, I never do that myself, but I think I have the mystical ability to make everybody else forget their keys. Like, any roommate I've ever had always forgets their keys for some reason. So maybe this plot only exists because I exist. You know, if I didn't exist, you wouldn't have to do this. You could just go into Lon Lon Ranch immediately, and Talon wouldn't be locking himself out. But anyway, now we can actually access Lon Lon Ranch, which the house itself isn't really all that important. There is, of course, a little thing behind the house which we unlocked from Mayor Hagen, and if you're a Minish, you can talk to that cow, and I think he has Kinstone Fusion? I'm not sure unless I check, but he is out of the way, so I'd imagine he has Kinstone Fusion. And from this chest you get the final wallets. So yes, now we can hold 999 rupees, and thank goodness, because seriously, we just hit the max so easily. And now we can actually buy that bomb bag that we can't actually buy at the moment. But once we get double the rupees we have now, then we can actually get it. And hey, this is a good starting point for that. So, if you go up here... Oh wait, is this the area you need to go to? No, it's just an area for stuff later. So there's actually a sparkly tree right there. That'll be important later on, keep those in mind. You might very well be able to do something about trees fairly soon. So, going this way doesn't really lead you anywhere important. We need to unlock a shortcut there. And over here we have a nice little house. There's nothing you can really do here. You can turn into a Minish, and I think this dog has a Kinstone Fusion, but I'm not going to bother with that just yet. And I don't think we can access anything over here, but there should be... No, there is not a heart piece. You might notice those stumps, though. That stump also appeared in Lon Lon Ranch. That might be important fairly soon. But we're not going to worry about that yet either. So, we do need to access the upper parts of Lon Lon Ranch because, as you saw from that sign, Syrup the Witch's hut is south of here, so, after we unlock this shortcut, we're going to get around to flying over there. I suppose this is maybe a small puzzle or maybe more of a platforming challenge, but we do need to make our way through this area. But first, if we turn into a Minish, we can cross this bridge and see a fairly cruel heart piece. We're not going to be able to access that one for quite a while, it's just up there taunting us. All that's up here is this red Kinstone, so not too terribly much, but you know, if we can pick it up while we can, no reason not to, right? Alright, now we can proceed onwards. After I cut some grass. Look, I gotta cut the grass, alright? There are green Kinstone pieces to be had, and I want to find them. So, let's see here. Nothing too much on this spot. I think this is just a grassy area. But, after this spot, I think, there's important stuff. Oh, now there's spiders. Go away, spiders. I don't like you. I would like to use my sword, thank you very much. Oh wait, no, I think this is how you get over to Syrup's Hut, right? Is there an area right here? Maybe not. No, wait, there is an area right here. Oh yeah, this is kind of a transition area. Okay, so this area is more segmented than I remember it being, because there is actually a way to get to that dude that's over to our left. But this is where we need to go. That's not the way to Mayor Hagen's Lakeside Cabin. Well, it kind of is, but not directly south. Because once we're here, we get to the Minish Woods, where Syrup's cabin is, so this is where we need to go for plot. But I'd also like to take care of this Octorok, who does have rapid fire, so I guess he's a little more difficult than the Golden Rope, but not too bad overall. Just stay diagonally of him and he won't actually fire at you, or if you really want to, you can use the shield to block all the projectiles. It's not like they hit any harder than they normally do. And we get this piece of heart, which is one of the first we actually saw when coming into Minish Woods. It's been taunting us for quite a while, but we've got it now. But the thing is, you can't actually get there without digging, so I don't know why they even have that sign there. Ah well, maybe it's just some sort of security measure, I guess. But this is where we need to go. First, I'd like to cut up some grass. Come on, green kinstones. Eat some green kinstone pieces. No? Okay, fine. And she does have a blue potion, which will heal you a little bit. I'm not going to buy any of that, though, because I'd like this here mushroom. And you know, I do have a fairy in the bottle, and I don't want to release it just yet. Thankfully, you don't need a bottle for this mushroom, though. So yeah, this is plot important, but it's cheap. You should be able to find 60 rupees fairly easily. I mean, especially since you've just got 50 if you've fused the correct kinstones and killed the golden Octorok, so if you did that, you're almost there even if you had 0 rupees beforehand. So let's see, there's not too much to do here in Minish Woods, so I suppose we should go back to Lon Lon Ranch, which is easy enough. You just go through this way, and hey, what do you know, there's a shortcut right here. You definitely want to move this rock, just in case you want to get to Syrup's Hut at some point in the future. I mean, she does have healing potions, so she is pretty helpful. Alright, you want to go to this tornado because you can't actually fly over that rock for some reason. And over here, once we unlock this shortcut, we have this Goron who's punching this wall. Now, if we fuse kinstones with him, he's actually got a pretty important fusion, actually. Once you do this, there'll actually be one final merchant in Hyrule Town Square. And this one is based off of the traveling salesman from Zelda Wind Waker. Just one of them. I think there were like 3 or 4 Goron merchants in that game that were sailing around the seas, but this guy's got a round blue hat. But this guy will actually sell kinstones. One of each color. Basically, if you buy a green kinstone piece, you can't buy another green kinstone piece until you buy the other 2 colors of said kinstone. So yeah, you do have to buy all of them at the time for his wares to reset, but hey, it can be helpful if you're running low on kinstones, especially green kinstones. Oh, and by the way, since I didn't mention it before, to allow Beetle to settle in that shop, you do have to clear the dust around that blanket there. Now, this guy's actually got a pretty important kinstone fusion as well. In fact, once we fuse this kinstone, we'll actually be helping our good old friend, the Goron. Well, I mean, we've only talked to him once, but I think we're pals. Let us go the Nopon route and be friends with everyone we meet, except scary things, because we don't like scary things. So with that, he had the strength to break that wall down. Well, that's nice. So I am going to try fusing kinstones with Eenie's brother, but after that, let's go check on that Goron. Hey, Minish, how's it going? Alright, and thankfully I do have the correct piece, but despite how lucky I've been getting with the green kinstone drops, I'm still fairly low on them. Lower than I'd like to be anyway. And that is so far out of the way that I'm probably not going to be going after that one for quite a while, because that's all the way back on Krenel Wall, so yeah, I don't really want to go after that one just yet. So let's just see if that Goron's reached his goal, and you have to wonder why he's punching himself into this cave. Anything you're doing, Goron? So now there's another wall here, and we're going to need another Goron buddy before that wall actually breaks, so we better keep our eyes open for some, something that might allow him to find some new Goron pals. The thing is, though, those are all consistent. Like Eenie having the Kinstone Fusion for that, and he's a bit of an outlier. All the Gorons have something in common. Oh, and by the way, spin attack can be useful. Yep, I just destroyed those guys. But anyway, yeah, once you know how to summon one Goron, you'll know how to summon the rest. Trust me on that one. And yep, see? I got the timing right on that one to spin at the end of my roll. And look who it is! You probably know who that guy is. That, of course, is Tingle, who thankfully isn't a criminal or a slave driver in this game, as far as I know. I mean, this is based heavily on Wind Waker, so he could have some sort of dark side as he does in Wind Waker. But thankfully he doesn't seem too shifty in this game. But of course, he does like kinstones. So he and his brothers are going to have some kinstones to fuse, but they are pretty important kinstones. They all have to do this area right here, which we'll visit in a little while. But later on in the game, I don't know exactly when, Tingle will actually tell you how many Kinstone Fusions you have left, so he can be handy in that way. And he's not too far out of the way, because, you know, he's right in front of your house, so he's not anywhere difficult to get, so that's nice. And speaking of our house, we have a few Kinstone pieces, so why don't we go to our grandfather, whatever, Smith. He's definitely grandfather, by the way. Even though Doylan mysteriously doesn't have any parents, Smith here is our grandfather. Oh yeah, and see, he does give you a few hints, but nothing we couldn't ask Eslo about. And we're gonna fuse kinstones with him. So, what does this unlock? It unlocks... this is important, I believe. We definitely want to open this chest that'll appear right here, because we get a pretty good item from this. I am actually in for some spectacular good luck this time. Oh man, I actually want to get that immediately, because, you know, that is fairly close by. That's at Lon Lon Ranch, and, as I've said, that is a pretty important item, and also I want to chop that log down, since those don't respawn. But yes, we want to obtain that one. See, it's right here, so it's no problem to get. It's all actually, this is Eastern Hills, not Lon Lon Ranch, but nonetheless, we get another empty bottle. Oh man, empty bottles are always nice in Zelda games. That's kind of a weird thing about Zelda. You know, you wouldn't really care about empty bottles in other games, they're just glass bottles. But in Zelda, they're just amazing items that are just always a joy to collect. But, yeah, see, we have the Goron Salesman there, he sells kinstones, but I want to get a move on, and... Look, Eslo, I know what to do. You don't need to tell me. Here, wake up, mushroom. Da-da-da-da! Now make me some Pegasus Boots. Yeah, sure right, buddy, you're asleep, sure right. It's not mystical little tiny people that live around Hyrule Town that make your shoes for you. Thankfully, the finishing touches are just hammering and shining the shoes. I don't make shoes, so I don't know why you'd need to hammer them, but whatever, you're the shoemaker, I guess. And we get the Pegasus Boots, which are based on an item in A Link to the Past. Unfortunately, in that game you actually had a dedicated button to running very fast and ramming into things. In this game, though, they are their own separate items, so you have to equip them, which does get a bit annoying, because you'll be doing a lot of equipping and unequipping from this point forwards. But it does allow you to run fast, so that's pretty helpful. See, look at us go. Now we can ram into stuff, and if we ram into certain trees, that will actually shake some things loose, and in some instances, I think it actually destroys the trees? Actually, no, I don't think it does destroy trees. Ah, well. Anyway, we do get a Kinstone piece, but more importantly, we press that switch. Once we press all 4 of them, something good will happen. But of course, we're a long way off of actually pressing all 4, so guess we continue on for now. So if you'll remember, Swiftblade oh, hey, how have I not activated this yet? Just gonna press this. There we go. So anyway, as you might remember, Swiftblade did tell us to return to him once we have the power to go very fast, and well, with the Pegasus Boots, now we can run really fast, so let's pay him a visit. Here's something that is kind of helpful. It's kind of similar to the roll attack in that I usually get myself hurt doing this, but at the same time, you saw me hurt myself running into an enemy before, so this is definitely an upgrade you want, just so when you're dashing around, you will actually kill enemies, especially weaker enemies. Stronger enemies might not die, and then you might end up in their hitboxes, but hey, it's still a very good ability nonetheless. Yeah, this is easy enough to replicate. Boom, we're done. Alright, we got yet another Tiger Scroll. In case you ever forget how to use the Pegasus Boots, because now that we have that ability, we can't not use it. And if we talk to him... Now, this is an ability we won't get for a very long time. I mean, come on, jumping in a Zelda game? That takes a while to do, and oh, please tell me you have a Kinstone I can fuse. Oh, I know what this is. This is actually a pretty neat thing, which will be a bit of a money sink, which might help a little bit considering how much money I get. But thanks to that Kinstone, the mailman gets a bright idea. And now we have something available in the post office. So I'm actually going to visit that pretty soon. Oh yeah, by the way, the mailman... Oh, he doesn't do that for NPCs, but if you stand in his way for a while, he'll actually just leap over you. I should show that off at some point, because it's kind of funny. Also, Milan will just automatically come to Hyrule Town to sell milk. I'm not going to buy some at the moment because I do need an empty bottle, so... Unfortunately, I can't buy some, but Lon Lon milk is a very good restoration item, and I believe it's the stuff in the game that once you use it once, you actually get a second helping of it? And now let's see if this guy will fuse Kinstones. He will indeed! What are you fusing, stranger? Well, he is fusing a very important Kinstone. Once you fuse this one, this thing will appear. So you might wonder what the heck that thing's supposed to be. Looks like 2 Kinstones fused together, or maybe a cracked egg. Who knows? But we should go visit that. It's gonna be pretty important, I gotta say. Pretty darn important. Now, while you can't miss Kinstone Fusions, you can miss one particular item in this game. Because if you don't use this portal here, you'll never find this area. And hey, we got a green Kinstone piece. And another. I'm liking this area already. But there is more than just green Kinstone pieces. I got here via portal. Do have to wonder where this is though, because I've never seen a building like this. It's kind of odd, actually. A ghost? Well, let's just go check this out. I bet that... Oh my goodness, it's a ghost! So nobody but us and that other woman can actually see that ghost surrounding him. And we want to equip the Gust Jar here. Gotta save this old man's life. So this is one of the few times in which you actually need to use the Gust Jar until it turns red. You gotta keep yourself sucking this ghost here, and eventually you'll suck him up. Thank you, Luigi. Your techniques have inspired me. Nah, he definitely was. Didn't you see me suck up that ghost? So this guy is probably one of my favorite NPCs in this game, but you won't see why just yet. Now, all you get is mysterious shells for this. 100 is actually fairly helpful, that is quite a few mysterious shells, but that's not actually the true reward you get for this. But we're not actually going to be seeing that reward for quite a while. We'll return here later on, trust me on this one, and when we do, we're going to get something that's not the most helpful thing in the world. But I believe it's actually a missable item, so you do want to tackle that as soon as you can. Now, let's see, what else do we have to do? Well, I can go to the post office and see about that Swordsman Newsletter thing that just opened up. I can't think of anything else that we can do, so, yeah, why don't we see how that's going? Oh, whoops, I did not mean to do that at all. See what I mean? You keep forgetting that you don't have the shoes equipped. Ah well, I do kind of wish they used another button for a dedicated shoe button. So this is a pretty pricey thing to do, and it's completely optional, and honestly it's not that helpful. It kind of goes back and forth on whether or not it's actually helpful, but yeah, we just bought the first issue of the Swordsman Newsletter. So now we get some hot tips from our good old pal Swiftblade. I do like the fact that not only does he give you abilities, but he also writes a magazine, which is pretty fantastic. And of course I want to continue reading. Why would I want to stop? Oh boy, some sage advice from Master Swiftblade. The hottest tip of mash the button really fast. And this is pretty much the most important part of this newsletter, is that a magical boomerang exists. It's not the boomerang that we bought, that's just a standard boomerang. You know, that's a pretty boring boomerang, we can't control where it goes. Unfortunately, technically speaking, all boomerangs are boring, because they're not like Beetle Friend from Skyward Sword, who is the best replacement for the boomerang, because the boomerang, kinda boring. Beetle Friend, on the other hand, is one of my favorite Zelda items, because he's just that good, and I hope they use him again at some point. I mean, even without motion controls, Beetle Friend would be pretty cool. But, I'm gonna do a bit more grass cutting, and other than that, I can't really think of much else we need to do, because I don't think we can use Kinstones with, Percy either, so, I guess, we're getting prepared to end this episode. We've done a whole lot of optional stuff, but there's still so much more to go thanks to Kinstones. But next time on The Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, we go to Castor Wilds, for real this time.